Excellent. So now we're all set. So today let's talk about some of the fundamental stuff, more fundamentals than before. So we talked about objects and methods and variables, instance variables, and instantiation, etc. And behavior and how to design them. So we went a little deeper in objects, but now it's time to step back and talk about some Java's basic, the most basic fundamentals. Like any programming language, so not only with the programming language, like in like any language in nature, right? So when you're learning a language, you learn the letters first, and then small words, and then sentences, how you learn it. Similarly, we need to learn the small things, and then later on, in a couple of classes down the line, we have to combine all of them and write bigger programs, right? For that, let's talk about a couple of these very basic things. So the first one is the comparison operator. So I know it looks weird today like this because of the drivers. When you're comparing two fields, okay, let's say there is an int age 1, int age 2. You're comparing both of them. How do you compare both of them? So the operator we use to compare both of them is equal to. Okay, I'll tell you in real world how we can use it. I'm going to tell you there's something called the control flow. I'm going to explain in a few minutes. And then I'll show you how we can use this comparator operator. So this is how we compare it. And we all know that this equal to is an initialization operator. Meaning, if you want to say, oh boy. If you want to say string first name equal to Venkat, this is how we do it. So this is the initialization operator, right? And this is the comparator operator. If you want to compare two different, we don't use this to compare really two different objects. I'll tell you later how to do that. But this is actually if you want to compare two different values. So there is something else called concatenation. So what is this concatenation operator? What exactly is a concatenation? So before we can talk about it, yeah. So sorry, concatenation, right? Let's say you have an int, okay? Int age equal to 25, okay? You want to display or you want to print it, you want to say system out println, I'm just writing SOP. So now you want to print, somebody's age is, Joe's age or Mike's age is 25. Since it is a string here, Mike's age equal to, now you need to say age here, right? if you do it this way, what happens here? It will print Mike's age equal to age. As is, Mike's age equal to age. But this is not what we wanted to display. What we wanted to display is Mike's age equal to 25. So, but this is of the string. Until this point, this is a string. And now we wanted to say 25 here. Or, sorry, this is actually stored in a variable called age, right? Like this. So we want this whole string to be printed as is, and in addition to that, we want this age to be printed here. Mike's age equal to 25. So when you have two different types, string and something else, or we will use it to, when you combine two different strings also later, but if you are combining two different strings, you use something called concatenation operator, and that operator is plus. So Mike's age equal to, this is the whole string. This string is completed here. Whatever you put it in double quotes is a string of characters. And now you got age as an int. Now age also will be treated like a string, and then both of them will be printed. Now Mike's age equal to 25. And another classic example to use the concatenation operator is if you want to say hello. Let's say you got this string from somewhere, hello, okay, plus, and let's say I have one more string, world. So this is one string, this is another string. These two strings will be added up. So the result will be hello world, hello world. Or you say hello Venkat. So they both will be combined. Make sense? This is called concatenation operator. Now, the another one I wanted to talk about is the logical operators. This one is logical operator. So there are two logical operators that we use in our programming quite a bit. In Java, there are in other programming languages also. They are logical and logical OR. So these are two different operators. I'm going to explain both of these with an example once I talk about this control flow. So what this one does is, this is an AND operator. If you have two different expressions, okay, if somebody is male and age is 25, age is greater than 25, then let him drive something. Let him drive a truck. Okay? If somebody is female or less than 25, you can write the same thing other way, right? If somebody is female or less than 25 years, they can drive. Okay, so these are two different, this is what we use, logical AND and logical OR operators. I'll show you in control flow how we use them with examples. So now let's talk about the actual control flow itself. So I really can't write there, so let me type here. So the control flow, right? What I mean here is that if you want to branch out your code conditionally, let's say in your code, you want to do something like this. If somebody's age is greater than 25, as I was just saying, if somebody's age is greater than 25, then yeah, let them drive. Or, somebody went to a liquor shop and he wants to buy alcohol. Okay, they obviously look at the driver's license, right? So if your age is more than 25, then you can do it. So how can you write that in Java? Okay, so there is a condition called if and else if conditions. Okay, I'll tell you if, else if, and else. Okay, you can write 3 different blocks. So you can do something like if, and you can write the condition here. We can write the expression here within these parentheses. That evaluation of that expression should result to either true or false, meaning you have to write a Boolean expression within this parenthesis here. Whatever you write, if, now this is where you can use your age greater than 21. So I'm using mathematical operator to compare the age. So I'm comparing here. If age is greater than 21, now you can write your if block. Every block of code in Java should be inside these curly braces. Okay, now you can say that. Okay, I'm not going to write everything. I'm going to say SOP, he or she can drink. Okay, now otherwise if the age is more than 21, then you can do it. But what is otherwise condition? That condition is called else condition here, like this. Okay, now you ended your if block, and after you ended the if block, then you write the else block, else. Now you can write another block of code here, meaning if this is true, it will go into this block of code, otherwise it will go into this block of code. We never encountered this kind of thing so far, right? So either this block of code will get executed or this block of code will get executed. If at all the age of that person who is trying to buy liquor here is more than 21, then this gets printed and this will not get printed. But otherwise, if it's below 21, then the second block of code, this otherwise or else block of code will get executed. Here you can write system.out.println. Here she can buy a drink, right? That is if else condition. This is if block and this is else block. We use it enormously. We look at hundreds of examples. Okay, now this is if else. How about if I have some other condition? If he's greater than 21, okay, and then but he's not 21, but I have one more condition. So let's say your requirements are given this way. If age is greater than 21, let's say you are a liquor shop, and this is how you have been given the requirements. If age is greater than 21, you can sell the drink. Okay? And or they'll put or let's say one statement, or if he is male, if the person is male, if the person is male and more than 21, more than 20, then he can drink, or a drink can be sold. Okay? State, men, you have one, what do you call, one age limitation, and then for women you have another age limitation. So if the person who came is male, okay, and then if he's more than 20, then one row. And if it is 21, irrespective of any age, you can sell it. Otherwise, you can sell it. Let's say you got this kind of requirement. Then what you do is, if age is 21, you can go ahead and sell it. Okay? But there is you can't write an else block and say that, hey, I can't, so sorry, we can't sell you a drink. You can't say that. The reason is, if a guy comes in with 20 years or above, then we can. For a woman, we cannot. Right? That's what this liquor store rule says, right? So in that case, we are missing one more condition. So how can we write one more condition? This is just like a either or condition, right? But you can write any number of conditions like this. If age 21, go ahead and sell it. Okay? Else, this is where the third one comes into picture, called else if. Else if. Now again, within this parenthesis, you need to write an expression that is evaluated to true or false. You cannot write something else. Else if, okay, tell me, let's say that I gave int age equal to 20 and then boolean male equal to true. Okay, let's say in this condition. So boolean male is a variable that is holding whether it's of the type boolean. So else if male, if it is male and, see here, if the person is male and more than 20, see here, how do you write this and? If it is male, this is where we use this logical operator and. If it is male and age greater than or equal to 20, let's say if he's 20 or more. Here also you can say if he's 21 exactly on the birthday, also we can sell it, right? If you say greater than 21, then he has to come next day to be able to buy it. But let's say our state rule says that if he's greater than or equal to 21. So then if his age is greater than or equal to 21, either male or female, you can go ahead and sell it. Otherwise, if it is male and age is greater than 20, okay, you can definitely. Now, we need to write the else if block, right? So now, we write this else if block. Now, here we'll say that system.out.println males above males with the age 20 or more can drink. Okay? Now, this condition is good if it's 21, we covered it. If it's 20 and male, we covered it. And every other scenario, we should not sell it. That every other scenario is this else block. So you can go ahead and put that one here. Else, sorry, you can't buy a drink because you are either below 20 and male or below 21 years and female. Agree? So this is how we write the code for if, else. Okay? So any programming language, this is mainly for the people who are completely new to any programming language. I'm sure if you're familiar with any programming language, I'm sure this is common. Very, very common. So any questions so far? Anybody has any questions? I can,
Yeah.
yes, Madhavi?
The second statement, males with the age 20 or more, then here can sell, right? Not drink, because the requirement is.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah, yep. It can be sold, right? Can be
Yeah.
sold. Okay, that's what you meant. Okay. Else with the age 20 or more, yeah, you can sell it. Now you can actually show. We can actually show you actually in the real program and test it also. Let's say if else demo, and then I'll say public static void main. I'm just directly jumping into it. I'm not talking about objects or anything. We will get back and then try to use all of these concepts in a typical objects. Okay. So there is something wrong here. Yes, I did not close this string here, and okay, I know. Sys out and then control space bar. Control space bar. This is how. Just type sys out and then do a control space bar. It will automatically fill for you Eclipse, and that is called code completion. Okay, that's it. Now let's see. What do you think will be printed now? Age equal to 20, male equal to true. Which statement will be printed? The second one, right? Now, how about false? So let's say a female came into person with the age 20. What should happen now? Let's see. He or she can't buy a drink. I'm sorry. But how about if she's 21? Then yes, you can drink. You are in legal age limit. Okay. This is if else. Now this is how we can branch out the flow from one block to one branch to. So if you have the requirements like this, you typically write a code like this. There is another branching mechanism, okay, another control flow mechanism in Java called switch case. There is one more way to do it actually. Switch case. So typically we use the switch case statements. Okay, let's say you have lot of conditions here. Let's say you're working for a school and then you're working on a school software. You need to provide a grade based on their test score. Based on their score. Let's say it is for out of 100. So if somebody gets 95, okay, 95 plus, then you will get A. 92, if you get let's say the requirement is that the requirement is that I'll talk to you again. Let's say they gave you the exact numbers. Okay, so for this particular, for this particular score, and this is the grade. Okay, if somebody gets 90, 95, you get A. 90, you get A minus. If you get 85, let's say these are the only possible values that you get. Okay, the trick is the possible values. Let's say you get B 85, B plus, 80, B minus, and then 75 is C, and 70 is C minus, let's say. Okay, so these are the only possible values that you can get. You don't get 92 or 93. You'll only get either 95. Their grading system is like that. Okay, they will adjust to the nearest number. Either they'll adjust to the 90 or 95. or 85 or 80 or 75, 70. So what you can do in this particular case is that, okay, you can definitely write if-else condition. If the score is equal to, how do you write equal to? Equal to, right? If score equal to 95, then you can say grade. Let's write the actual program. Okay. I'll say switch case demo, but I'll show you first how to do this one with if else, or I'll just say if else demo 2. You can't hear, probably that's your problem, Ketan. Looks like everybody else is able to hear. Okay, no problem. Now let's say int, they gave us somehow the grade score. Int score equal to, let's say, 95. I'm testing it, right? So now let me write the code, actually, the actual code, right? So the actual code is if score is 95, okay? Now I need to say what the grade is. I'll say string grade, okay? String grade. Initially, I'm just initializing to empty, and then if it is 95, then we can say grade equal to, A. Is that A we started with? Yeah, okay, A. Else, if score equal to 90, grade equal to, whatever the B minus, B plus, I believe, A minus, okay. And then if it's 85, B plus, okay, 80, B minus, 75, C plus, looks like. And then for 70, you can say C minus, let's say, okay. Let's say none of these, then we'll say else grade equal to, will fail. See this one? So if you fall under any of these categories, either you get 90, if you get 95, you'll get A. If you get 90, you get A minus. Pay attention to this equal to operator. This is the comparison operator. Okay? If it's 85, B plus, 80, B minus, 75, C plus, 70, C minus, any other number, you will say fail. Okay? Now let's see. We'll print the grade finally, right? We can write one sysout grade equal to whatever the grade is. Right? Here I'm using the concatenation operator. See, I'm combining two different strings, one and this one. So it will convert this grade, if at all this is in int also, it will convert automatically into string and then join both of them. Let's say I want to say your score is, let's say I want to say like this, your score is, okay, and then I'll print his score, which is an int, but it will be converted into string and say that. So your grade is, see this one? So your grade is, it's mainly pure English like language, right? Your score is 95, so your grade is A. What happens if I change this one to 75? Then I'll run it. Your score is 75, so your grade is C plus. Okay, get it? If your values are these some fixed values that you need to compare with, and this gets, and you need to compare with a lot of them. Code wise it may look little ugly, rather it can be done little differently. Let me show you how we can do it with a different control flow called switch case. It's very similar to any other programming language that you may have experienced with. Okay? So I'll use the same thing, int score, and I'll use the grade. Okay? Now I'll say, see, control space bar. I just did SW and then control space bar. So Eclipse is already helping me with the basic stuff. Switch. Now let's say the score. Let's say, yeah. Okay. So switch score, meaning compare your score value with the various values here. So case 95, then you say grade equal to, did we say A plus or A? A. Grade equal to A. And then I'll tell you what is that break, but we can write different cases here. Case, let's say if the value is 90, then we'll say grade equal to, what is our A minus. Okay. For 90, this is the value, 85, 80, 75, 70. Okay? 90, 95, 90, 85, 80, 75, let's say 70. So your grade is going to be A minus, 85 is B plus, I believe. 80 is B minus, I believe. 80, what did we say? 80 is B minus. Okay, 75 is C plus and C minus. Okay, whatever. I think we got the point, right? Okay. Now, the way we write here is that switch, take a variable that holds the value, which is your score. So compare your score with all of these cases here. If it falls into any of the cases, then print that, not printing, execute that block of the case. See here, this is the block here. You can write several statements here, not only one. Okay, so execute these two lines. If it is 90, execute these two lines. If it is 85, execute these two lines. If it is 80, these two lines. 75, these two lines. 70, these two lines. If at all it doesn't fall into any of these cases, then default comes into picture. In switch case, you have something called default. Okay? In default, you can say that, can anybody guess what I can do here? This is like your last else. These are all else if. Yes. Grade equal to?
Fail. Grade equal to fail.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. And finally, once we have my whole switch case here, did you look at this one? Everybody looked at this one? See here. If you write a big program here, see here, this, sometimes we get confused with which braces is mapped to which brace here. This is opening brace and this is your closing brace. See here? This is what it is. Okay. And then we'll finally say grade equal to grade. Okay. Now let's run it and see what happens. Grade equal to C plus because we gave 75. Let's say I gave 60. Let's see what happens here, right? Grade equal to fail. Use the same sysout, so if you want to make it more user friendly, you can do that. Your score is 60, so your grade is fail. Make sense? And you may be asking, what is this break? Well, in each case here, the way switch case works is, if you do not put a break here, it will fall through. What it means is that, let's say I did not put break here, right? Okay, then it will check here. Let's say if it is 95, right? Let's say it is 95. And then it came here. This line, this block of code gets executed here. And since there is no break, it will execute all the other cases until it finds break 2. So it will execute this one. It will execute this block of code. It doesn't check the value anymore. It will execute this block of code. It will execute this block of code, and it will break here. If you have a certain scenario where you need to fall through it, okay, then in that case you will use this no breaking. But when you put break here, what it means is execute only the block of code and do not go to the next block and execute it. Don't go to the next case because my case has been satisfied, and don't go here. Okay, I'll show you one scenario here in Code Java here, the actual Code Java from our repository. If you look at here in the control flow, switch case, switch demo, fall through. Okay, if you look at this one here, right? See here, I wrote some good documentation. Deciding whether to use if then else statement or switch statement is based on readability and the expression the statement is testing. Another point of interest is the break statement. See here, each break statement terminates the enclosing switch statements. Control flow continues with the first statement following the switch block. I'll tell you what I'm saying here is that, see here, I'm doing a month equal to 8. So here, if month 1, January, month 2, Feb, month 3, March, April, etc. I gave the month 8, right? So it doesn't fall with any of these cases, so it will directly jump here. Yes, case is 8 and my month is 8. It's exactly matching, so I should execute this block of code. So which one am I executing now? I need to execute this block of code. So I'll execute the future months equal to August. Now, do I have a break here? No. I will execute this one. I'll execute this one. I'll execute this one. I'll execute this one. And then now I'll break it. I want to find out in this method, I want to find out the future months starting from that month. So here, let me run it and you'll understand. See here, I gave month equal to 8. My goal here is that, my requirement here is that, hey, I'll give you the month numbers and you print starting from that month to December all the way to the end. That's when this requirement of no breaking will come into picture. Let's say I said month equal to 1. What does it print now? It will print from January all the way till December because there is no break. Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, all the way till December because there is no break here. What happens if I put a break here? What happens if I put a break here? Just January. It does not fall through. It does not fall through. That is your switch cases. Especially if you have these, if your cases are constants, okay, and your code is more readable, you may be asking, hey, in what cases do I go for if else and what cases do I go for switch case? It's mainly readability. Look at the code and whichever you think is readable. Okay, in this case, definitely I would go for switch case because it is more readable. The functionality is exactly same. Functionality is exactly same, but In this case, the code is more readable. I can directly jump in, okay, this guy month is 1, 2, more. You have to give a lot of importance to your readability and maintainability of the code. I'll tell you more about it. Okay, we are in the very, very beginning days of Java. Okay, somebody has a question or something here? Let me step back for a second and then.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure. Yes.
Can I ask you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you sign here string grade equal empty. So what is the meaning of this one?
Good. This one, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Here is that. To start with, here I'm declaring a variable called grade. Okay, grade will be assigned the appropriate value here. I'm changing the value. The initial value of the grade is empty. Initial value of the grade variable, the value that it holds at this point, JVM, let's say I'm JVM here. When I come here, I'll say that there is a variable called grade and the value of the grade is just empties. Okay, I can also directly say that. Anything else that I can do? Let's say initial value. Okay, now print the value of the grade here. Okay, if you print, what happens here is that you will find the value of the grade as initial value here at this point. The grade equal to initial value. But your score is 75, right? So does it go to here in this if block? No. Does it go here? No. Does it go here? No. Does it execute? No. Does it execute? Yes, because the score is 75. So now, what is the value of the grade variable at this point? Initial value. But after JVM execute this line of code, what you're doing here is that you are assigning or you are changing the value that your grade is holding. Your grade is a variable that is holding a value called initial value at this point, but now you are changing that to C++. Now your grade variable will hold the value of C++. And that is why you are printing the grade variable. This is like your mathematics variables, like how we teach our kids. You know, if x equal to 2, y equal to 3, what is x plus y? So when I say x equal to 2, what is this one? You know, semicolon is Java syntax, but let's say simple algebraic one. X equal to 2, meaning I'm assigning variable 2 to x. Similarly, when I say grade equal to empty string, okay, what I'm saying is I'm assigning empty value to start with. I can also simply say, I can say now. Okay, that's the initial value which will be changed in this here. Make sense? Madhavi, did I answer your question?
If you put only empty, then which time can I see? Means there is a, you are putting initial value, means you are putting something, but don't write anything. Then
okay. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. So when I write initial value, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, JVM goes line by line, right, Madhavi?
Yeah.
At this point, the value is initial value. Okay. Until we get to this one. Let's say here in this case, I have if-else condition, right? Now let me show you, since you asked, let me show you one more value, okay? If-else demo 3. So let's say string, yeah, string somebody's name is John. Okay? If let's say age is greater than or equal to 21, okay? Of course, I'll declare my age. To start with, let's say I have 21, okay? If age equal to 21, greater than or equal to 21, now I'm changing the value of name, okay? Now I'm saying Joe, okay? Now, else if age is greater than 65, name equal to Mike, okay? Okay? Name equal to name. We need to understand one fundamental thing here is that string name equal to John. What is the variable name here? The variable name is name, right? The value of name is John at this point.
Yes.
So to start with, it is John. But I put some logic here. If age is greater than or equal to 20, I want to change this name to Joe. Or if age is greater than 65, I want to change his name to Mike. So since his age is 21, so it went into this block and changed his name to Joe. So initially, let's say, to start with, okay, initial value of name equal to name, right? See here, initially this name was having John, but because of this conditional expression, okay, now name is Joe. Now that is what has been printed, because now name doesn't have John anymore. Everybody. Now the value of this variable has been changed to Joe now. But now I'll bring up an interesting point here. Let's say his age is 46. Okay. Now tell me what happens here. Tell me what happens here. Let's say, let's say if age equal to 21, let's do this one. And now, let's say what happens here. Now, his age is 46, right? If age is 21, then change his name to Joe. If age is greater than 65, then change his name to Mike. Then, is his age 21? No. This block of code does not get executed. Is his age greater than 65? No. So this block of code does not get executed. So this whole code has not been executed. In that case, his name has not been changed. So his initially name is John, and even after this one name is John. So if you want to provide an initial value, if none of these conditions occur, then I do not want to touch his name, right?
Okay.
You agree?
Yeah.
So
means if the condition is not satisfied, then it will go there.
Exactly. No. if the condition is not satisfied, it will not go there. Condition is not satisfied, then this value will never be changed because we did not write the code like that.
Okay.
We are changing his name conditionally based on the condition. If the condition is met, then we are changing the name. If condition is not met, we are not changing his initial value is my point. Did you get it?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'll take the questions one at a time. So Yuri, you want to start? Can we use and or in switch cases? The switch case is a very special conditional expression. You can only use this way. In fact, until JDK 6, they were not even allowing the string values here. You can only use int. They only use int, double, and characters. Char, there is something called char, right? Char C equal to, you can use, if you have just one character, you will put them in these one characters in a single quotes. Okay, this is called char. So they did not even allow strings in switch cases until JDK 7. In JDK 7, they introduced this. Okay, so here, type mismatch cannot convert Boolean to int. Look at this one here. Now, whatever the case that you have here, right? Whatever the case that you have here has to match your switch type because it is going to compare these two guys here. It is going to compare these two guys. So, whatever the type that you are comparing it, your score will be compared with each of the values. So you have various cases. So you have different branches here saying that, hey, in this case, go execute this branch of code. In this case, go execute this branch of code like this. I'm sorry. In this case, go execute this branch of code. In this case, go execute this branch of code, etc. Okay. So that's it. Okay, Ravi is asking, no problem, no problem. Can we use Boolean expressions in switch case? Will it make any difference with if-else condition? Actually, you only have two values, two cases here with Boolean, right? You only have true or false here. Okay, so you only have two cases here. Okay, and you have default anyway, right? So there is no point, if you have a Boolean expression, there is no point in using this one. Your if-else condition is much more readable, right? So you don't need to use this one. Use this one in exactly like these cases. So you have the fixed values that you need to compare with, and you have especially a lot of them. You know, if you have 3, 4, it does, I think if-else condition is perfectly fine. Where is our if-else condition here? See, this one, you have these many. What do you guys think? Do you think this switch case here is more readable than this one? Well, some people can say otherwise too, but it's a purely readability. The functionality is not changed. Okay? Anyways, that's enough. Any questions? Any questions? No problem, Ravi. Okay, let's get back. Now we need to talk about the loops. Okay?
Venkat,
Yes.
This is Jyoti.
Yes, Jyoti.
So I just gave one information like
Okay.
age 21. For that one, I can just write it in a single line if you see the chat session.
Okay, yeah. Let me gather as is, and then I'll just say, is that if else?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So for the ages,
No, yeah.
okay, for the ages class, based on the requirement I didn't get it, right? String sex, okay, sex equal to male, okay, age equal to 20, and first of all, there is a small point I wanted to make here. Java, let me mute you for a second.
I muted myself.
Okay. Java is, somebody is not muted. Can you mute? I think it was Jyoti. Okay. Java is statically typed language. We need to understand what it is. Statically typed language. In programming languages, there are two types. One is statically typed, the other one is dynamically. Okay, static languages and dynamic languages, typically they are called. So here, when you say age equal to 20, and some programming languages will automatically identify based on the value that you provided. Okay, she's talking about int here, but Java does not do that. Java never assumes the type. Okay, you need to provide, when you say the variable, you need to provide what type it is also. Okay, just saying, it's a small point, but I wanted to make it, that's all. Okay, and take a look at this line of code here. We'll get into the...
When I just cut and paste, the int is missing.
Oh, got it. No, it's in my, oh, I'm sorry about it. Jyoti, it's not to point out this one. Actually, I wanted to mention this particular point. It's in my agenda too. So you brought up anyway that point. So the point is, there are some programming languages, they are dynamic languages, they automatically can figure out based on the value that you provided. Yeah, I see what you did, what you're saying here. But Java is a statically typed language, meaning it will not assume what your type is. You need to specify that. Okay? And which one is good, which one is bad? There are enough battles on that, so I'm not going to talk about it. Both have pros and cons, so I'm not getting to that debate now. But anyways, the point here, string sex and sex equal to male. So she defined a variable called sex, and now she assigned a value now, male, to this variable. Okay, and to me this is redundant. You do not have to write in two different lines here, because if you do this sex equal to male based on some condition somewhere down the line, it makes sense. But you just declared a variable and you just initialized it already. You just change the value. Here, the value of this variable is null. And here, the value of this variable is now male. You don't need to do this, right? So you can combine into one of them, string sex equal to male directly like this.
Yeah. I know that. I just...
No, it's for everybody, Jyoti. It's not... So I took that as an opportunity to push one more point across. That's all. So I use these opportunities. So please don't take it any other way. So I just do a review every single time, right? Okay. Now, int age equal to 20. Good. If age is greater than or equal to 20, first of all, it's not readable to me, so I'm going to format it. Control Shift F. Okay. See here, it will automatically line up these curly braces, etc., and it gives some space here. Okay. So see, if age is greater than or equal to 21, or what is the shortcut? Control Shift F. Control Shift F. Okay? And I'm deleting this line here, right? So to delete a line of code here completely, see my mouse is here and I'm doing a Control D. Control D will delete that line, and I'm deleting one more line, and I'm putting one more line here. I'm deleting this line, let's say Control D. See, I'm Control D. I'm using Control D here. Control D is to delete a line. Anyways, so if age is greater than or equal to 21, or if age is 20 and sex equals male, then you can buy the drink. Else you cannot buy the drink. Fantastic. I'm in total agreement. This is definitely more efficient way of doing it, but I wanted to show how if else if works. Okay, so this is definitely more efficient because you can write it in one line here. Okay, so in fact you don't need this one here. If age is greater than or equal to 21 and or this one you need it. Now since we talked about these logical operators, this is a very good way of using it. See here, if age is greater than or equal to 21, so if you are above 21, or if you are 20, but there is a small problem here, 20 and male. Okay, if it is greater than if it is greater than or equal to 20, so no, I think you are right. If it is less than 21 and you can only be 20. If it is 20 and you are male, yep, you are correct. If you are 20 and then if your sex equals male, then you can buy the drink, otherwise you cannot buy the drink. And now I wanted to say something here. Since you brought up this point, these are called logical operators, right? Logical OR and logical AND. The way they work is they go from left to right like this, and they only evaluate the left side first. So here, if you understand it here, this whole thing is one expression and this whole thing is another expression. You have two expressions here. This is one expression or this expression. So only either this condition will be true or this condition will be true. In either of the cases, you have to go into this one. If both of them are not correct, okay, then you have to go into this else block. So what happens here is these logical OR or logical AND operators, the way it works is, if you say age greater than 21 or, right? So let's say I gave age equal to 22. Now it will look at this one, age greater than or equal to 21. Yes, this is correct. If this is correct, it will not even worry about it because this is our expression, right? Either or, either this one or this one. I'm already good here. So I don't need to execute this anymore. I do not execute. That is how logical operators work. So they evaluate the left side, and if the left one is true, then they don't even bother about executing the right hand side. Okay, in this case. But let's say if I'm 20.
Yeah, Venkat.
Yes.
I think that the second condition, it has to be age is greater than or equal to 20. If it is exactly 20.
Right. Can you hold your thought for a second, please? Yeah. I'm in the middle of explaining this one, so please. Okay. So if age is 22, then your left side expression is true, so it doesn't even bother about executing this one. So all of this will be ignored here. Okay. But if I say, let's say 20. Now, it will first evaluate the left side of expression. Is it true? No, it is false. Okay, this is false. Then there is an OR condition, or Now it will go here. Okay, now it will go look. Okay, if your age is 20, yes, this is 20. Now I will look at, there is one more logical AND operator. So again here, left side is true, but there is an AND, meaning I have to execute the right side also. The reason is it is not true at, if age is 20 and male, then only I can do it, right? Then I'll look at it, age equal to 20. Yes, then I will look at this one. Yes, both are correct, and then I'll execute this one. Okay, so my point here is that the logical operators go from left to right, and they do not even execute the right hand side if the left hand side is already good. Okay, so it's just to be more efficient, that's all. That's my point. Okay, anyway, Ketan, here the point is you are saying you are greater than or equal to 20, right? That's what I initially thought, but you don't have to, because if you are greater than or equal to 21, anyway, you will fall into here. The only thing here is that if you are 20 and male, then you can buy it. Let's say if you are 19, then you can directly jump into this one. Right? Okay. Now let's talk about the loops. If you have a block of code, as I told you, this is where you will have the block of code, right? In the curly braces, you will have, if you want to write more than one Java statement, okay, more than one line of code in Java, then you will put them in this curly braces, and that's called block of code. Okay, so let's say you want to execute a block of code so many number of times. Let's say you want to execute, let's say you want to print 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way till 10. Okay, right. And you want to print the numbers, right? You can also print system.out.println 1, system.out.println 2, etc. Let's say you don't know how many numbers at compile time, or you want to more efficiently do it. Let's say you want to print it 100,000 times. How do you do that? In that case, you will use another struct of Java, okay, called loops. This is a very standard feature in every single programming language. It's nothing to do with Java, nothing new with Java actually. So you will use various loops to iterate over or to go over the same block of code so many number of times. Obviously, you will control how many number of times you want to loop through it using certain conditions. Okay, there are 3 kinds of loops in Java, like most of the programming languages. There's one called for loop, okay, and then there is a while loop, and then there's one more called do while loop. Okay, now let's say I'll start with this for loop. Okay, let's look at, it's easy for me to explain with an example. Here I wanted to print 1 to 100. Okay, how do I print? So using the for loop, right? Now the syntax of the for loop is, okay, now see here, actually there are multiple for loops. We'll talk about that today. So maybe today or maybe next class, let's see. If it actually mouse over this one, see here it is telling you what kind of for loop you want it. So I want a simple for loop, iterate over array. So it is automatically giving you the structure, but I don't want to use this Eclipse fancy tool. So this is how it works. You write for, and then you write inside the parenthesis you will write 3 different expressions. Okay, the first one is initialization. Okay, here you are declaring a variable called I to, I'm just saying, okay, and then this is called initialization block, and then there is one more called termination block. Okay, I equal to 0 or I equal to 1. I wanted to print from 1 to 100, right? So I less than or equal to 100, and then there is a third block called incremental block. Okay, here how do we increment? Okay, so we did not talk about plus plus, right? Okay, let me say one point here. In Java, okay, let's say int age equal to 20, right? Okay, you can, I want to increase his age by 1. How can I, and assign it back to age itself? How can I do it? Age equal to age plus 1, right? You can also do it using this expression, using this simpler form, okay, increment operator, the plus plus. Okay, so age plus plus is nothing but this is a short form of age equal to age plus 1, and you have 2 forms here. One of them is called plus plus age, or the second form is age plus plus. There is a subtle difference between both of them. The difference is that if you do a age plus plus, whatever the statement that you are in, okay, your age value will be, it is incremented, but it will be assigned back to the age after your current statement gets executed. But with your plus plus age, before, first of all, it will increase your age by 1 and then immediately put it back, and then go to any expression within that statement in a single line of code. That's when it differs. Actually, I'll show you later with an examples. Okay, don't worry about it if you fully didn't get it. So that's not my point here. My point is, I started with this one, int I equal to 1. What am I doing here? Well, I took a variable called I. It doesn't have to be I. It is like anything else. It can be age. It can be any variable name, right? But I took a variable called I. I initialized to 1. This is the starting value, and this is a valid Java statement. Every valid Java statement has to be terminated with semicolon. So for int I equal to 1, so this is as good as writing 3 different lines, but they provided a shorthand operator like this, short form. Okay, int I equal to 1, and then I less than or equal to 100. Okay, so this is a terminator condition or termination condition. Yes. So what it means is, when do I terminate? At some point you're going through this block of code, and at some point you have to terminate, right? At what point? Well, as long as I is less than or equal to 100, sure, go ahead, go into this block of code. As long as I is less than or equal to 100, yes, go into this one. This termination condition is a Boolean expression. Okay, if this is true, if this expression is true, then go into this one. As long as this is false, then you have to get out of this for loop. You don't go into this one, and then you're done with the for loop. And what is this third one? Well, at some point, you have this block of code that get executed for each iteration, right? For each time this block of code get executed, but first time the value is 1, okay? Okay, so to start with I equal to 1, good. And now I less than or equal to 100, yes. Then this block of code gets executed. And now your I value will be incremented to 2. Now the second iteration, second time you come to this one, now I became 2 here. The reason is I++ is the shorthand for I equal to I plus 1, as I told you. Okay, so we are reassigning, we are increment the value of I by 1 and assigning back to the I. Now the second time you come to the for loop, and now the value of I is 2. Is 2 less than or equal to 100? Yes, then go execute this one. And now your value of the I is going to be 3. Now when you go to again starting to the block, I equal to 3. Is 3 less than or equal to 100? Yes, then go ahead and execute it. Now your I++ gets executed. Okay, now it will be 4. Is 4 less than or equal to 100? Yes, then go ahead and execute. Getting it? Now, whatever this variable is, the variable is I, right? I'm just printing it, that's all. I'm not doing anything. I equal to I. Let's say. Just go ahead and run this one. See. So it started from I equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So do you know how many times this block of code has been executed by JVM? 100 times. You want to go 10,000 times? Yes. So this block of code, you can write 1,000 lines here. Those 1,000 lines will be executed 10,000 times here. The logic is this way. Whatever you write in this block of code, that gets executed 10,000 times here. See, I'm printing all the way. Make sense? So this is your for loop. Any questions before I move on to other loops? Is everybody following it? Let me ask that question. Is everybody following? Anybody getting confused, or you want me to stop anywhere? Yeah? Okay. Can I go ahead, or you want me to? Somebody's asking a question.
We can use I minus minus also.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that. That's a good point. Give me a minute and then you start talking about it. Once I finish explaining this Madhavi's point, then you can talk. Now, how can we use this I minus minus? There is something else called increment and decrement operator, right? So I plus plus is nothing but I equal to I plus 1. These two are same, right? Okay, this one and this one, these two are exactly same, right? Now, I minus minus, there is something called I minus minus. So what it means is the same thing, I minus 1. So if you have, and keep in mind this is only for if you want to increase by 1 or decrease by 1. If you want to decrease by 5, let's say you want to skip every other number, then you can't do it. Then you can't use I plus plus or I minus minus. You have to use other expressions. I'll tell you how to do that. But you can also use this I minus minus. So I'll show you how to do that. I equal to, let's start reverse, right? So let's start with 1,000, okay? And 1,000, and I'll say I minus minus. Now, the point is 1,000, and you want to count backwards, 1,000 to 1, okay? Now tell me your expression here. one of you tell me what kind of expression I have to write. First time 1000, next time 999, next time 998, and it goes to 1. I should stop at 1. If it's 0, then I should stop, right? Tell me. If it is, I want to do it as long as, okay, as long as it is greater than 0, right? As long as it is greater than 0, go ahead and execute this for loop. This is a terminating condition. My terminating condition is, what I'm saying here is that you can execute this as long as this guy is greater than 0. See here, 1. So we printed backwards from 1000 till 1. Let's say if I put as long as your number is 900 or greater than 900, okay? It will only print until 901. The reason being that is, so initially its value is 1000, 999, 998, etc. And then it comes to 901. Okay, so now the value of I is 901. Is 901 greater than 900? Yes, yes. Oh, then go ahead and execute it. But now the value will be changed to 900. Okay, let's go now. I equal to 900. Is 900 greater than 900? No, they're equal to, but they are not greater than 900. Oh, then it's time to terminate, boss. You can't go into this one. You can only go into this one if my expression is true. The moment this expression is false, you can go. Make sense? That's how you use this one. And if you want to skip a number, let's say you want to 1 until if it is less than or equal to 100, okay? And then I'll say that I equal to I plus 2. Okay? Let's say what happens here. Now, take a look at this one. Initially, the initial value of I is 1, right? Now, is 1 less than or equal to 100? Oh, yes. Then go ahead and execute it. Okay, go ahead and execute 1. Now, what is the new value of I? After I execute this one, the new value of I is I equal to I plus 2. Now, the new value of I is 3 now. What is the current value? 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Now, I is 3. Is 3 less than or equal to 100? Yes. Then go ahead and execute this block of code. Okay. And again, the new value of I is I plus 2. The current value of I is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. Make sense? This is how you would write your for loops typically. Okay, Yuri, do you want to ask what is that character processing? You can go ahead and speak. That's not a problem. Can we use for loop?
For providing like say the word, for example, like I mean like character, like name, not like character, like word, not like letters, like.
Sorry, you're breaking quite a bit. Maybe typing is better. I don't know. Maybe you're.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, you're breaking quite a bit. So, or save your question. We'll talk about it. Let's finish this while loop and do while also. Okay. Yeah, he has. Let's look at his question. Sentence using words. Oh, using words and sentences. Absolutely, absolutely. You can do a lot of things with this kind of loops. We will look at it. We will look at a lot of things actually. So, we just started. You have all the. We didn't talk about arrays, right? I was hoping to finish arrays also today so that we can do quite a bit here, especially using with arrays and these for loops or any of the loops for that matter. You can do very decent stuff. We will look at it, definitely look at it. Okay. Now, this is one kind of loop, right? Where can we use the for loop in real time? Oh, Shailaja. We use for loop almost, I'll tell you a situation. Later, later, I'm going to talk about this concept called arrays. Okay.
Okay.
So arrays are nothing but the bags of similar objects that have fixed size. I'm not going to detail arrays or collections, whatever that one is. Let's say you got the bag of laptops. Okay, laptop is an object, but you got several of those laptop objects, right? You want to go through each one of them, okay, and then you want to go through each one of these laptops inside that big bag that you got it, and then turn on each laptop automatically. So there is an operation, there is a function called turn on. There is a method called turn on. I gave you a collection or array of laptops. What I mean by that is I gave you a big basket of laptops that has 100 laptops. And I'm asking you to turn all of them. I provided in each laptop object, I provided a method called turn on. How do you do that? You want to loop through each one of them, okay? You can't go by, and you don't know the size, right? This time I can give you a bag of 100 laptops, or next time I can give you a bag of 3 laptops. You don't know. You agree? In that case, even all these values will be dynamically populated here. And then we'll say that for each laptop inside this basket, and I will call the turn on method on it. So every laptop gets turned on within that basket. Did you get that? That's just one simple way of doing it. But we will do, hundreds. This is such a basic structure, right? Shailaja, did you get that? Okay. Now, the other kind of loop, no problem, Shailaja. The other kind of loop is while loop, okay? So here, let's take a look at it. While demo. So, yeah. So in while also you have a couple of variants. I'm talking about the most basic one. This is how your while loop looks like. While, instead of for you'll use while, and you put some condition here. Okay, as long as this condition, this Boolean expression here, as long as this Boolean expression is true, you can execute this block of code. And inside this block of code, you will somehow write the terminating condition. What I mean by that is, if I want to execute, if I want to achieve the same results, okay, let's say I want to print 1 to 100, right? So now I'll say int I equal to 1. Okay. Now this time I'm initializing outside of my looping block, right? So int I equal to 1. Now all while condition looks for is do it while this is true. What is that condition? Tell me. Do it until this is true. I'm putting into simple English. Do it while this condition is true. So I want to stop at 100. So what do I put it here? While I less than or equal to 100, execute this block of code. Initially I is equal to 1. Oh, is 1 less than or equal to 100? Yes, then go execute this block of code. Okay. Now I'll put my system out here. Okay? Now, I just formatted it. Now, can anybody tell me how many times this while block now gets executed with this line of code? What happens if I run it now? Take a look at this and tell me what exactly happens now if I do run. It executes
This is
99 times.
infinite loop. Because
Very,
one,
very
one,
good.
one, one again it will come. Because
Very,
one is
very
less
good
than.
catch. Very good catch. Very good catch. You're paying attention. Really. Everybody's paying attention. I know that. It's just, it's not easy because we never talked about it. Look at it. Int I equal to 1, right? Let's think like a JVM, right? I equal to 1 now, while 1 less than or equal to 100. Is 1 less than or equal to 100? Yes. Then execute this block of code. Now what is the value of I? 1. Now I'll print this one, I equal to 1. Now I will go here. What is the value of I again? 1. Is 1 less than or equal to 100? Yes. Go print it, go print it, go print it. The value of I is never getting changed. We need to change the value of I like how we want it within the while loop itself. Within the loop itself, once we are done executing our block of code, as a last statement, you just put it your whatever your incrementing statement is. Just say I plus plus, meaning I equal to I plus 1. So you are now changing the value to 2. Is 2 less than or equal to 100? Oh yes. Now I equal to 2. Now I's value is changed after this statement gets executed. Now the value of I is 3. Make sense? See here? But now if I just comment this line of code here, it's infinite block. It keeps running. I have to stop it. See? It keeps going. I'm manually terminating it. Otherwise, it wouldn't stop. I'm manually terminating. Agree? So you need to reassign the value of I, or you need to change the value of I so that at some point you have your terminating condition here, but you have to write your code in such a way that at some point your I value will come to here and terminates it. Otherwise, you're not interested in infinite loops, right? We never write code like that. It just stops.
So
Yes.
I have one question, Venkat. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can you do this infinite loop with the for loop? Can you make it go infinite?
The for loop infinite, that's a good question. Actually, in for loop, okay. See that? So, if you don't put anything here, okay, you don't have any initialization expression, you don't have any terminating condition, you don't have any your increment expression, nothing. You just put, you don't have anything. So you just keep going. This is how you do it in for loop.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So this is your while loop. Okay, that's the difference between for and while. Is here you need to write inside the inside the while block itself to increment the value of I, so that at some point it will get terminated. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
No problem. Is everybody getting it? Now let's take a look at the do while loop. The way it works, it's exactly, do while loop is exactly like a do while loop is exactly like your while loop. The only difference is, I need to tell you something here. Let's say I started this I, instead of 1, I started with 101. Okay. The value of I is 101. Okay. While this is true. So 101 less than or equal to 100? No. I is not less than or equal to 100. So this expression has been evaluated to false. But I should only execute this while this is true. Okay. So even for the first time, it will not enter into this loop. So the difference between while loop and do while is exactly same as while loop, but it's a specialty while loop. What happens in that case? First it will execute your block of code, and then for the second time onwards, after it executes this one, then it will put this, it's a Boolean condition. Then it will execute your Boolean condition. So what I'm saying here is that I'll do the same thing. Int I equal to 1. I'll do a do while here. See here, do, meaning do this one, do this block of code, do execute this block of code while this condition is true. What is that condition? Now condition is in the bottom, not on the top. So the condition is again same as long as you are less than or equal to 100. Okay, what am I doing here? As long as you are less than or equal to, execute this whole block of code. What is that block of code? I'm doing I equal to 1. I equal to I. Okay, and again, what happens if I don't put there's something wrong with this code now, right? I have to update the value of I so that at some point this will be terminated. Right? So I have to do I++. Okay? Now, exactly same as 1 and 100. So what's the difference between do while? I still didn't get it. At least I still didn't get it. I don't know about others, but it's the same as this one. It produced the same code. Why this? Well, the point is, if I say my value is 124, here what was the value? 101, right? Okay, let me give the 101. If the value of I is 101, let's look at the trick. So I is 101. So first it will execute this block of code and it will print the value of whatever it executes, this whole block of code, which is nothing but printing of I's value, which is I equal to 101. Now it will evaluate it. Now it will check, is 101 less than or equal to 100? No, then don't go again. So don't go execute it second time. If you want to go and execute the second time, this terminating condition must be true. So your do while block will execute at least once. In the while condition here, if your condition is not correct, even the first time, I will not execute it. Okay? So that's a specialty while loop. If you absolutely want to execute for the first time, but second time onwards you want to check it, yes, then you'll go for this do while. Okay? It's a specialty. It will execute at least once. You got it. Feeling at this point? Is it too much for the day, or you want me to stop here? I wanted to talk about arrays actually, but I'll go with your with the people. Uma, how are you doing?
Yeah, good.
Is it too much for the day or something?
No, so far it's good. If we add arrays, then I think it will be too much.
It will be? Okay. Yeah, I'll stop at this point then. Okay, Carl, I'll go with whatever you guys say. Carl, for you also, is this a first time coding or you coded in other programming languages?
Oh, I've coded another programming language.
You coded in it. Okay. You're feeling okay, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I think these are the standard concepts in every programming language, pretty much.
Yes,
Right?
yeah.
Right. Syntax could be little different, but other than that,
Yes, yeah, that's the only thing.
Yep.
No, yeah.
so we'll talk about arrays and then how we can use it. And meanwhile, so go get this core Java from our Subversion repository and go to this package here, com.training.java.core.control flow. Here we talked about the do while loop, probably maybe a similar expression. This enhanced for loop, we'll look at that later. This for demo, if else demo, switch demo falls through, while demo. And then also OP basic operators. You can look at these operators actually. This arithmetic demo, how we can do additions, subtractions, multiplications, divisions. I think we did this one. Comparison demo. How do we compare it? If the value is equal to, if the value 1 is value 2 and they are same, then you print this one. If they are not same, then print this one. And if you only have one line of code in an if block, you don't need the curly braces. If you're doing more than one line, then you need it. But a lot of people say, and I also, the way I have coded is, even if I have one line of code, I will go ahead and put them in the curly braces like this. Even if I have just one line of code, Java doesn't require you to do that, but I would do that. Okay. And then concatenation demo. So how do we concatenate various strings here? See this one? There's some strings that I got it, and then see first string, first part plus this concatenating. First string plus second string, third part, fourth part concatenating, and putting all of them together into a separate string, and then printed the fourth string here. So, and conditional demo, I think we did this one. So this is how we look at it. A ternary operator, we can, no worries, don't worry. It's a simple, another shorthand operator thing. So that's it. We need to look into these arrays. So please look into my previous video and watch the arrays section. We'll talk about it. And I'm going to ask, I wanted to ask everybody to watch the video and stay ahead of me at least one class, so that it will be piece of cake when you come here. Okay, especially for the people who are very new to any programming language, I highly recommend. So that's it. Have a good night, everybody.